What's up, everybody, and welcome to the live stream. I'm your host, Jesse Showalter, and I'm excited that you are all here. Make sure that you like, subscribe, hit the little bell notification icon so you know when another video or live stream like this one goes on. We got people watching from YouTube, from Twitch, from Facebook, from Periscope, from all over the world. We got people jumping in the chat like Jerry and Abernail, and we have Anas and Daniel and Pradeep and tons of people coming in from the chat. Let me know where you are viewing this live stream from today. Hey, right back to you, Jan and Josh Simmons. What's up? What's up? I'm so excited that you guys are all here. People are coming in from sunny Barcelona. Hey, I'll tell you what you can do in sunny Barcelona. You could become one of my YouTube members. You click that little blue join button. You get access to behind the scenes stuff, early access to videos. A week or two ago, we did a members only video hangout, which we will not be doing today. We will be doing next week. I'm having some technical difficulties and things making that happen, but we're going to make it happen next week. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I got some really fun, exciting announcements that my members get first access to, so consider becoming a member. Today, the topic of the day is personal branding for creatives. That's what we gonna do today. So if you are interested in building a personal brand, interested in kind of setting yourself apart a little bit online and in person, I think this is the stream for you, because if you're a creative and you don't have a personal brand, you need to start building your personal brand. And we're going to talk about why. There's lots of reasons why, but make sure two things before we jump into the presentation. Start going with building a personal brand. Number one, make sure that if you want to get your portfolio reviewed at the end of this stream, you follow me on Instagram, and there I posted the link in the chat. Instagram.com/IamJesseShow, and then DM me your link, your portfolio piece, your work, or maybe even your personal brand stuff. I'll take a look at that at the end of the stream today. Number two, if you haven't already, go over, feel free to head on over to my website. Go to jesseshowalter.com/design-resources, and there's some awesome resources there for you. One of which is going to be, we got lots of fun resources there for you. If you're interested, you could actually also just go to my homepage like this and hit store. That's going to take you out to my Gumroad page where you can download all of my digital products. But one thing is for free, and I think everybody, single person, should have it, and that is my free ebook called Make Your Portfolio Count. You just sign up, put $0 in there if you want, or throw me a little change if you feel like it. But this is a free PDF ebook. It's like 7 or 10 pages, talks about how to build your portfolio, your resume, everything that should be in a portfolio. So if you're wondering, I'd love to submit my portfolio, but I'm not sure if I have the right stuff to do it, then maybe read that book first. You can find all that stuff over on my website. All right, with all that being said, I'm excited. Let's jump in and let's talk about personal brands. It's going to be a lot of fun. Here we go. Personal branding for creatives. Please keep this in mind. Grammar, spelling, not my forte. Okay, so if you see spelling mistakes in this slide deck, then don't hate on me. Hate on my public school education. All right, here we go. Who wants to build a personal brand? Throw a little hands up emoji in the chat if that's you, because here's what we're gonna cover today. What is a personal brand? Why should creatives, specifically, why should creatives have one? This stream is not about you becoming an influencer or an Instagram sensation or going viral. It's about building something, okay? It's about building a brand that will benefit you and others around you, okay? So why should creatives specifically have one? What is it to make a great personal brand? What goes into it? How and where do you even start? And then some best practices at the end. We got lots of little hands going up in the chat. Appreciate you guys being here. Before we go too much further, my throat's getting dry, so I'm going to take a sip of my Legend Spicy Nootropic Ginger Performance Drink. It's prebiotic, low calorie, nootropic, vegan, all natural, and it's really, really spicy. It tastes good. Okay. Here we go. Let's get into the presentation. First thing we're going to talk about before we go any further. I heard some statistics recently on a podcast, which is what stirred up this live stream. And it was mind-blowing to me that 75% of people, millennials specifically, feel more comfortable buying from somebody with a personal brand. Now, you might be saying out there, I'm not selling anything, Jesse. So like, this isn't for me. Aha, ha ha ha. But wait, there's more. How about this? 35% of companies feel more comfortable hiring a creative with a personal brand. So this means that 35% of companies that are hiring for UI positions, graphic design positions, marketing positions, senior designer positions, junior designer positions would feel more comfortable if they were hiring somebody that already had an established personal brand, okay? Wow. This puts you ahead of the game if you're looking to get a job, does it not? Okay, it super does. So keep this in mind, that it's not about building some sort of influencer empire. It's not about becoming like somebody who can sell affiliate links and all that kind of, it's about branding yourself online to benefit you and your career. It benefits other people around you. It benefits you. It's just a smart move, and it's not as hard as you think. Okay, so let's keep cruising and see like how we kind of do this. Here's a famous quote by Zig Ziglar, who's a famous businessman. He says, "If people like you, they will listen to you, but if they trust you, they will do business with you." Right? This is what we want. We want people to do business with us, whether you are a freelancer or you want to work at a large company, a startup, a nonprofit, whatever you want to do, and that is you doing business with somebody, right? That's, even if you're hired for a full-time position, that's a company saying, "We'd like to do business with you. We would like it if you would do your business here at our business," right? And if they trust you, what is a personal brand? Personal brand is establishing trust through the brand that you've put out there. We're going to talk about what all the pieces of that are, but it's at first and foremost, you want people to listen to you, hire you, pay you, all of these things. They first need to trust you. And if they feel like what you've put out consistently online represents you authentically, genuinely, and it brings a level of trustworthiness to your cause, to your claims, to your portfolio, right? So keep all of this in mind as we keep going. Very, very important stuff. You want people to do business with you, okay? So first, what is a personal brand? Here's a little snippet that I pulled from somewhere. I think it scopes it out really, really well. A personal brand is quite simply a presence, either offline or online, that represents you, your values, and what you have to offer, okay? It's the impression that you make on the world through content, imagery, actions, and you intentionally present yourself in a certain way. If you do this effectively, you can start to build recognition and position yourself as a credible voice in your industry, in the creative industry. And in the world of work, your personal brand will ultimately allow people to identify you for jobs and other professional opportunities. What is a personal brand? It's the thing that speaks for you so that you don't have to speak for it. Does that make sense? Okay, so I've seen that there's a bunch of memes and and videos and reels and stuff going on social media right now. That's like, tell me you're this thing without telling me you're this thing, right? So if somebody was like, Jesse, tell me you're a UI designer without actually telling me with your words that you're a UI designer, I would just show them. I would just do this. Ready? I would do this. Like, show me that you're a UI designer without tell me you're without actually telling me. I would just go like this. Here's my Instagram. I'd go like this. Here. Does that work for you? I didn't have to say it. It just presented itself. It spoke for me, okay? And it does it through all of those means, through imagery and actions and content and the written word and all of these things, but you effectively position yourself. And it doesn't even you don't even have to position yourself as a leader or I hate the term, thought leader in your industry. It's more just about positioning yourself as a member of your industry and somebody that can be trusted within your industry, okay? This is how a huge way that you will progress in your careers, by establishing your expertise, your knowledge, and your position in your industry. It allows people to identify who you are. So before we go too much further, I want to stop and just acknowledge that there's probably some questions, and I would love to bring some possible answers to those questions. If you have questions, let me know. pop those in the chat. We'll try to answer them as we go. Okay. Boom. Somebody says, thank you so much for the live streams. Absolutely. Glad that everyone out there is doing well. Replying to Jesse Showalter, how could things speak? Yeah, gotta become an insider soon. Just waiting for my debit card to come. View the post. All right. People coming, members and insiders. That's exciting. Let's talk really quickly about, before we go on too much more, about some of my amazing members. Tamami just became an insider 3 days ago. Sai just recently became a supporter. Trixie, Abernale, Curtis, Pavel, Wizza Studios, my friend Will with the amazing advice just became an insider. Gelgel, Joe, Josh, Liobov, Lori, all these people, and I met a bunch of these people in my live video hangout the other day, so that was super duper fun. So again, if you have any questions about becoming or any questions about building your personal brand and what that looks like, please let me know in the chat. We will make it happen. All right. So let's talk again, more things about personal brand. Okay. Curtis says, liking the new transitions. Thank you. Always trying to, spice up the live stream a little bit and make it something awesome for you guys. So, all right. Let's keep cruising and keep talking about what is a personal brand. So let's maybe this will spark some more questions for you. Ready? Why should you have one? We already kind of talked about this, but let's dig in. Let's hit some of these on a little bit more of a deep level. Okay. You should have one for increased visibility. And let's stop with that one and perceived expertise. What do I mean by increased visibility and perceived expertise? Okay. Here's what I mean. You have work, you're doing design work, you want to work in the industry, you're trying to land a new job, maybe you have a job, maybe you're trying to transition to a better job, who knows, right? This makes you more visible online. So with hiring managers, freelance clients, companies that are looking for positions, if they can find you easier and there's proof that you are who you say you are above and beyond the rest of the pack. Think of a pack running. Think of an Olympic race as people are running around. A lot of people are staying in the pack. What do you want to do as an Olympic runner? You want to dash outside of the pack when the time is right to get to the finish line before they do, right? You don't want to sit in the pack because you just look like the rest of the pack, okay? So this increases your visibility. It increases your perceived expertise. Okay. So when I'm talking about perceived expertise, let me just speak about myself. I really don't think that I'm the best designer in the entire world. I just don't think so. And my imposter syndrome could say, oh yeah, Jesse, well then why do you deserve to have a YouTube channel? Who are you to be teaching people something? But you know what? I have just a little teeny tiny bit of knowledge, and I just wanted to share that little teeny tiny bit of knowledge. And as I learn, as I grow, I share. It's me being helpful. My personal brand is me being helpful to people who are just like me 13 years ago or so when I started in the industry. I was reading design blogs, trying to figure out how to use Photoshop on a bootleg version of Photoshop. So my personal brand is not just a color. It's an entire mission to help people who are just like me. Okay, that's my brand. I'm the helpful guy, hopefully. That's what I try to be. Try to bring a lot of value to everybody, try to give as much free content as I possibly can, create assets and resources that would be helpful to you to land clients and get a job that you love, okay? So that's my personal brand. I've built that over the years and I've poured into it. When people find me, like I just got a job opportunity sent to me. I'm not going to take it most likely, from a large institution asking me to be a product design instructor. Why? Because I teach about design, and they were looking for a product design instructor. They went, here's a guy that teaches a lot about product design, mobile design. Maybe he'd like to work for us. I stood out. Okay. So it gives you a perceived expertise and it gives you increased visibility. All right. Let's talk about this. We already talked about established trust. Okay. The more you're there, the more trustworthy you are. This is the basic premise of social proof, right? So if somebody's looking for a freelance client is looking for like a designer or somebody like that to work on a project for them. Let's say I'm a freelance client. I'm looking for somebody to do some motion graphics for me. Who's the first person that I'm going to trust? Probably a recommendation, word of mouth of somebody that I know and I like the work that somebody did for them, right? A friend got some motion graphics done. I'm going, love, where'd you get that? because it worked out good for you, because I need trust, right? To give my money, to trust somebody, okay? It's the same thing. It's the very same thing when it comes to hiring somebody. Wouldn't you much rather enjoy hiring a person that is already has a connection with somebody in the company that you know does good work? They say, hey, Todd at your work says, I vouch for Mary. Okay, I've worked with Mary in the past. You should hire Mary because she does work just like me. Well, if I'm the hiring manager, I'm like, well, I like Todd. I like everything Todd brings to the table and here on the team. So if Todd vouches for Mary, I'm probably going to like Mary. See that? That's called trust. And if you don't know the person, then the next best thing is to create a personal brand and be authentic and genuine and consistent and pour out online so people feel like they know you. They don't actually know you, but they might feel like they know you. This is why we get infatuated with movie stars and we feel like we know them. I'm like, I feel like Tom Hanks is a good guy. Don't you feel like Tom Hanks is a good guy? I have no idea if Tom Hanks is a good guy. I've never met him. But we can be duped into thinking that we know people that we don't. And this is what we are actually accomplishing in our personal brand. Not duping people, but giving them some sort of understanding of who we really are to build a base of trust that makes us more desirable in the market. We do that by making ourselves relatable, stand out from the crowd. Then trust is the thing that makes you stand out from the crowd. It makes you memorable. Oh, remember that guy? Remember that guy we saw online teaching that thing, putting out that content, making that Instagram post, putting out that video? Remember how he's always there? Maybe we should check with that guy, right? Maybe we should check with that gal, that person. I see them all over the place. I get people reaching out to me all the time for stuff like this. People going, we've seen your channel for years, right? We know you're probably busy, but Jesse, we figured we'd reach out and see if you want to take on this opportunity. Okay, so I'm gonna say this. This is not a flex. Okay, this is just the reality, and we're gonna get there. This is the byproduct of me having started a YouTube channel 4 years ago and been pouring into it consistently. I get job offers and client offers for projects every single week, multiple. Okay, multiple every single week. And I turn down most of them, okay, because I don't have time for most of them. But I get offers almost every single week and multiple per week. Okay, if you're out there going, it's like feast or famine, I'm trying to freelance, but nobody's coming my way. If you had an established personal brand, people would come your way. I get offers for full-time work, contract work, and a lot of it I turn down, right? Like if you're looking for a full-time position, part-time, internship, whatever, if you had a personal brand, it would come your way much easier because you would have established trust. That's not me flexing. That's me saying you can do it too. Okay. There's nothing special about me. It's just the thing that's been built starting to work for me, right? Instead of me working for it. It's great. It's amazing. Everybody should be doing this. Okay. So it'll help you to stand out from the crowd. Also, last thing, it will build your confidence. Because I tell you, there's rejection is hard, right? I was just talking to somebody the other day, and I'm going to meet up with her for a mentorship session. Okay. And she's applying to lots of jobs. She's looking for positions and she doesn't feel like anybody's biting on the line. She's not getting any offers. And one of the things, the best time to plant a tree was 5 years ago, right? But the next best time to plant a tree is right now. So that tree will grow. And 5 years from now, you'll go, look at this, I have a tree. So everybody's sitting around out there waiting, going, well, someday I'll start building a personal brand. Nope. How about do it right now and wait for the fruit later on down the road? Because there's nothing that crushes your confidence more than 20, 30, 40 rejections in a row. And there's nothing that builds your confidence more than multiple offers per week that you get to go, no, thank you. No, thank you. And you get to pick and choose your clients, how you want to work, when you want to work, and your personal brand can help you do this in your creative career. Okay. So with all that being said, let's jump back over. Let's do a little bit of question and answer time. Okay. Here we go. Gary Swan asks this question. With a personal brand, does it cheapen your brand if you add something like designs onto the end of the brand? Like Jesse Showalter, like Showalter Designs. I don't think so. If that's your brand, then that's your brand. I had a really fun meeting and made a new friend yesterday, John D. Saunders. You should check him out online. Amazing. He has an amazing course called the Web Design Agency Accelerator. If you're looking for something to kind of like fast forward your web design agency and your freelance business, John D. Saunders, look him up online, amazing dude. But he has a digital studio. I forget what the name of it is off the top of my head, but he has his own personal branding, and then he has a business branding. So if you're able to separate the two, if you want to, it's totally doable. Okay. Abhishek says, hey Jesse, I'm a product design student. I have an Instagram page where I post my BTS and my behind the scenes and my own designs, but I always feel like it doesn't communicate as well as I want it to. Any tips? Love from India. There's gonna be plenty of tips later on in the live stream, so stay tuned, because I'm going to get really tactical about what you should be posting, how you should be posting, what are the things you should start with. So absolutely, yep, for sure. Let's see who else has got some interesting questions. Mark says, how do you reinvent or reposition or rebrand an existing, not well planned, personal brand? How do you rebrand or reposition yourself? You just do it instantly. Here's a really great example of this. I follow a guy named Scotty Russell. He runs the Perspective Collective podcast, or the Perspective podcast. And he's like a designer and an illustrator. And just this last year, or like last month, actually, in this last month, he's transitioned from being a creative and all that kind of stuff to being a full-time coach. That's what he really wants to do. So he just made the hard transition. He went, this is what the name of the podcast is now. This is who I am on Instagram. I'm Coach Scotty, right? I'm no longer Scotty Russell, like Perspective Collective illustrator. I'm Coach Scotty. He just made a hard turn and he just went hardcore with the rebrand. So that's what you got to do. Visually, tone, direction. We're going to talk more about that tactical stuff later. Don't worry. We're going to get there. Okay. Hello to everybody out there. That's good. Okay. Should an individual begin building this brand while still learning? Absolutely. And I think we need to get back to the presentation, because everyone is asking amazing questions that are going to get answered in the presentation. So let's keep cruising with the presentation here. Making a great personal brand. Where do you start? Here's the two things that my friend Brittany, who's a content strategist, talks about all the time, and I agree with her. So I stole these from her. Credits to Brittany. She's amazing. Here's what she says. Show your value and be your authentic you. Okay? So let's talk about these two things really quickly. Let's talk about showing your value. Okay? Showing your value means knowing who you are, benefiting others somehow, and being humble and consistent. Okay? So your personal brand, when I say brand, people get to, if you talk about like a brand for a business, we're not talking about a logo, and we're not talking about a color palette. We're talking about a brand, okay? A logo is a logo. A color palette's a color palette. A brand is the bringing together of visual things, missional statements, and all of these other assets, tone and offering and everything. And it can be boiled down to this one word: value. What value do you bring to the world? Okay, so you have to know who you are. For instance, who is Nike? What value do they bring to the world? They don't bring a swoosh logo. Okay, they don't bring something like whatever else. Like, they bring quality shoes that are sought after, that are super cool, right? Athletic apparel that everybody desires, right? The original Jordans, baby, right? So they bring a level of value that everybody wants. They know who they are, okay? Now they've spanned out a little bit. It used to just be like, Nike used to be like running stuff, and it was like basketball, football. They've spanned out a little bit. You could do like Nike, like skate gear and different stuff like that, but they're still in the sporting world. You don't see Nike putting out a lot of penny loafers, because they know who they are. They know their target demographic. They know how they benefit others by making awesome athletic apparel, and they are consistent to that end. That's the same for you and I. We need to be consistent to this end. So who are you? Don't tell me what the color of your brand. Who are you? What do you do? And what value does that bring to the world? How does it benefit others? Here's the value that hopefully, that I hope that I bring to the world. My name's Jesse, right? I'm a designer with over 12 or 13 years of experience, and I teach other people how to kickstart their creative career. right? Through video, through audio, through, screencast tutorials. Like I offer my expertise and my experience to help you get your foot in the door, get that position, land those freelance clients, make more money, love your life. That's me, right? And I've put that out consistently over the years. Who are you? Maybe you're a developer, maybe you're a designer, but maybe you're the person who makes banging, just amazing brand strategists for companies, and you increase companies' revenue. That's what you do. Maybe that's you. Let that be your value that you bring, okay, to the world and to others. Here's the next piece we talked about is be your authentic you. Here's what we mean by this. Don't ignore your personality and your quirks. Don't try to be someone else, be you. And don't be the future version of you, be the you right now. Let's tackle each one of those a little bit. So many people want to act like something they're not. Like I could get on here and be like, hello, everybody. I'm very professional. No, I'm loud. I'm a little bit obnoxious. I talk with my hands a lot. This is me. Who are you? Right? Don't ignore your quirks. These are my quirks. I laugh at my own jokes. I do all sorts of silly things, right? That's who I am, okay? And don't try to be like somebody else. Be who you are, right? Be the best version of you to establish that trust online. Don't be somebody else. And don't even try to be the future version of you. If you're just starting out, somebody asks, what if I'm like a design student? Don't try to lie and say, I am a leading professional in the industry, award-winning. No, you're not. Say, I am the person who is learning and growing and offering all the value that I can to other people. Just let that be you. You don't have to lie about it. You don't have to be ashamed of it. It's awesome. So know your value, show your value, and be your authentic you. Excuse me. Let's jump back over to it. Whoa, we lost some screenage. Don't know what happened there. Yeah, be you. All right. So, all right. With that being said, let's jump to the next one. Okay. Here is a case study. Here's me. I'm not saying I'm the end all be all, you guys. I'm just saying this is the example that I have to offer, okay? 4 years ago, I started making YouTube videos, okay? And I wanted to help people who are just like me. We've already talked about it. When I was just starting out in design, I just wanted to help people. That's all I wanted to do. I was like, you know what? Like, I feel like I have something to offer, and I'm put it out there. Whatever little amount, I'm gonna put it out there. A year ago, I transitioned my Instagram account to match that mission. I was like, you know what? Like my Instagram account is like part of who I am. I put stuff out. I'm going to stop posting stuff as much about my kids, and I'll post a little bit about that, my family, my wife, I love that. That's my life. That's who I am. But I'm also going to post these other things of who I am online. Like I am a creative. I'm an entrepreneur. I like to problem solve. I like to help people. I'm going to post those things up there too. And then there's been this game-changing outcome for my career, life, and the impact that I have on people's lives. Here's like something so nice that my friend Ignacio said in the chat from one of my live streams recently, that I had no idea how much that I had helped him with my videos, and he's in the route of becoming a full stack designer because of me. And he said, thank you for that. Do you understand like what a big deal that is, that I've somehow in some way impacted somebody else's life, that they could be, because of even one small thing that I did, I was able to be helpful to them. I have accomplished my mission. Ignacio just told me this is all I want to do is help people. That's game changing, right? Like clients asking me to work for them, companies asking me to like do work with them and like video work with them, like people looking for my consultation, my advice on things. It is so fun. And listen, y'all, I'm being really, really serious. I'm not that special. I'm not that great, right? But it's just because I put myself out there, because here's the truth. I don't think I'm that special, but I think I have something to offer. You don't have to be incredibly special to have something amazing to offer to the world. So you may not think that you're incredibly special. I guarantee you you're awesome, and I guarantee you have something amazing to share with the world if, and I'm gonna say this in all love, if we would just get over ourselves and stop the imposter syndrome and the low self-esteem and just say, I'm just gonna be me consistently, offline, online, everywhere I go, I'm gonna know who I am and be me. If we just did that, it'd be game changing for you. It'd be game changing for people around you as well. Okay. And so that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, y'all. Okay. Let's see. Let's keep cruising and go to the next step. Okay. We're almost done here. How and where do you start is the question, okay? Here is the 3 things that are recommended how and where to start building your personal brand. Number 1, write a personal statement, okay? A personal branding statement tells people who you are and what you're about, okay? Let's dig into this a little bit deeper. Let's talk about it. Here's the 3 key components, okay, to writing a statement, okay? A personal branding statement. Your job title, your expertise or your niche, and something interesting about yourself. Here's an example. It's not the end all be all, but this is me. You've already heard this a couple times during the stream. My name is Jesse Showalter. I'm a UI and UX designer, and I focus on, ready? I already said my job title. Here comes my expertise or my niche. I focus on solving problems for startups and Fortune 500s using over 14 years of experience. That's my expertise, my offering, my value, my niche. Another interesting fact about me is I teach about design, code, and life on YouTube. I help new designers learn the skills they need to build a creative career. This is my mission statement. This is who I am, folks. Okay? I can take that, I can distill it down to less if I want to put it on my website, to put in my Twitter bio, my Instagram bio, but more than just where you post it, it's how you live it. If I understand this, if this is my mission statement, my value statement, then everything I do has to fall underneath this mission and value statement. So I can ask myself, hey, I really feel like I want to start a new channel about movie reviews, right? I ask myself, does this have to do with me being a UI UX designer? Is this me problem solving for startups and Fortune 500s? Is this me teaching people about design, life, and code? It's not. It's not within my mission statement. So don't post this on my channel because this has nothing to do with my mission statement or my values, right? Okay, you might have side interests. Everybody has side interests. I do too. I like board games. I like jujitsu. I do lots of stuff. You don't see me posting very much about those things, right? Actually, I have a whole separate Instagram account where I post board game photos that I play. I created an iOS and an Android app. You don't see me posting too much about it on my Instagram. You see me making videos about the design and the development of it because that's contextual, but you don't see me going, look at it, here's my top 10 favorite board games. I don't do that. I do that elsewhere. Actually, you want to hear something really funny? I used to do that, okay? I used to do that on my Instagram. And here's the thing, you can scroll down. Let's just do the scroll really quickly and we'll start how I've transitioned my brand. We'll see this, right? Look at how random it used to be. Wait, it's going to get even more random. We're going to start getting to family photos, little things that I did, maybe a design shot here or there. But now we're really talking about like just a bunch of family photos. Let's scroll all the way back up to the top. Okay. What did I realize? I realized that I need to be branded to who I am and what I do and stay consistent with those things. Okay. And it's not just about the visuals. It's about the mission. Okay. It's about the value statement, and the value statement, or the value in general, begins with you understanding what your mission is and writing a statement out. So write this out for yourself. You can copy my template and just replace the colored sections here. Hi, my name is, put your name in there. I'm a, bink, pop it in, focus on, bink, pop it in there. Another interesting thing about me is, bink, and pop that interesting thing in right there, okay? So that's writing a personal statement. Number 2, identify your audience. Based off of my personal statement, who can I bring the most value to? Who could use my help, my insights, and my experience? And I want to cater to that person. For me, it's people just getting started out. I'm not Chris Doe from the future, okay? I don't know what it is to land like $1 million projects. That's not me. I'm just going to be honest with you. I know what it is to be able to make a living and pay my mortgage and start building like my retirement and be financially wise. And I know what it is to be creative and get positions. So I'm going to help people like that. I'm not going to, so my audience, identifying my demographic and my audience, okay, is helped me to create content that serves those people well and benefits them well. It matches my personal statement, my mission and vision statement, right? So I cater to them. Okay, so we need to do that. Last one is talk about relevant topics. Now that you've identified what your personal statement is and you know who that audience is that you serve, the last thing to do is then to talk about relevant topics to them. So again, not to double down on it, but it doesn't make sense for me to come on my YouTube channel or my Instagram and post my top 10 picks for the next UFC fight. I love UFC. I love basketball. I'm not talking about it on my channel because it's not relevant. Now, if I wanted to, I could say, hey, join me for my next YouTube tutorial where I design sports overlays inside of Adobe XD. See, that's relevant because now I'm designing. I'm inside of a design tool doing the thing that I do, serving the people that I serve. And maybe that person who watches that tutorial goes on to get an internship or a junior design position at ESPN. Maybe, right? So it's relevant, right? So you have to identify the topics you feel comfortable talking about and that would also be interesting to your audience. This is how you start. Don't go make yourself a logo and pick a color palette. That doesn't matter. These are the things that matter. These are the things that matter, okay? Last one, let's talk some tactical best practices. First off, it's going to sound cheesy. It's not. Start believing in yourself. You won't be able to build a personal brand if you don't believe in yourself. You won't hit the mark if you don't first say, I have something to offer. Because guess what? I believe that you do. I believe you have something to offer. I believe it in my bones. You have something to offer, okay? Here's the second thing. Get consistent. And let's pair these together and keep it short. Get consistent and keep it short. You will succeed if you are consistent and succinct. Get to the point, bring the value, and bring it constantly. Okay? That's the thing. I've been posting anywhere between 1 and 3 videos a week for the last 4 years on these topics. And you're like, wow, that sounds a lot of work. Yes, but we're planting the tree now, or back then, 4 years ago, and the fruit is here. The fruit is on the vine now for me, okay? Or falling off the branches for me, okay? Start building it now. And somebody asked earlier, can I build it? Well, yeah, build it alongside of your skill set. Build it alongside of your learning and your journey. Absolutely, but build it, okay? Don't just hone your skill set and not hone a personal brand. You could do 2 things at once, okay? So do that. Keep that in mind, okay? Next up. Tell stories, okay? In anything that you do, try to find a way, if you can, to tell a narrative story. People respond to stories, okay? And so in most things that I do, not all, but most things, I try to speak about how this thing has impacted my life or how it's gonna help me do this or that. I try to mix a little bit of my personality and tell a little bit of stories, right? People really responded one time where I posted a video where I lost my job. The startup I was working for couldn't afford me anymore and they had to let me go, right? I told that story. I told the story about how disappointed I was. One time I was moving from Hawaii to Texas and I shared on my Instagram an entire highlight reel. You can watch it right now about how we got robbed along the journey, right? Because part of my personal brand is also sharing pieces of my life. So I wanted to share how hard it can be to stay positive in the midst of like low valleys like that, right? And so you have to tell stories. Be willing to find the story in most things, okay? Here's a big one. Everyone's asking about like real tactical things. Let's go really, really tactical. Ready? Staticky fuzz, don't know why. Pick a few channels and run with it at first, okay? You cannot do every single social media out there, okay? So pick a few channels and run with it, okay? So for me, that's YouTube, Instagram, and I check in on Twitter every once in a while, okay? That's kind of it. YouTube, Instagram, I check in a little bit on Twitter, right? You try to get in touch with me on LinkedIn, you're never going to get in touch with me, right? Like, everyone's like, you should start going on Clubhouse. I'm like, I ain't got time for it. I have my channels. I know my channels. I'm going for them. And I don't have the bandwidth right now to afford much of anything else. So I'm going to stick with my channels. You can't do it all. Instead of trying to do it all, you should do a few things well. So pick your channels and your outlets and stick to them, is what I would say. Okay? All right, we're going to get to a few more that are a little bit more like behavioral. Don't wait until it's perfect, right? You're like, ooh, I can't share yet. I don't fully understand. I haven't done it perfect. Nope, just share it. Like, ooh, well, I didn't really, that was a free project or concept project. I can't really, no, share it, right? Put it out there, right? Publish it, push publish and share some stuff, okay? Last one is after you push publish, after you share it and put it out there, analyze and pivot when you need to. What do I mean by analyze and pivot? I mean, take stock of what you're putting out there, right? There's ways for you to read analytics on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter, all that stuff. But more than anything, it's like, are people responding? Do people like what you're putting out there? Is it helping anybody? Ask for feedback, get feedback. And if it's not working, pivot. Maybe you have misassessed or wrongly assessed who you are, what your brand is. Maybe you're like, I'm going to try to be like Jesse and be the outgoing, talking with my hands kind of person. And that's actually not you. right? Maybe it's not you. Maybe you need to like take stock again and say, well, what is me? Maybe I need to be more my authentic me. Here's a good kind of like tip to this. Ask the people that know you best. Your family, your friends, your loved ones, your spouse. Who am I? What's my personal brand? How would you describe me in 10 words or less? Let them describe you. Take it to heart, write it down. See if you can find things that match and start to apply it, because you want to put your real self out there. Yourself, but your real self out there. Listen to me, there are plenty of carbon copies, okay? There are plenty of carbon copies of people just trying to recreate the formula that somebody else has done. It doesn't work. It's not great. It works for some people. Listen, you'll be much happier being a slightly successful version of you than a massively successful copy of somebody else, okay? So be you. You'll be much, much happier. I would be much happier being an unsuccessful version of me than a completely successful version of somebody else, okay? So just be you. That's just 10 times better, okay? Just be real. Just be you. With all that being said, that's the end. Let's do a little bit of question and answer time, okay? Josh Sims says, something I've learned over time is a good strategy and daily consistency will nearly always bring more success than raw talent with no strategy. Small improvements every day add up over time. Amen to that, Josh Sims. Small incremental progress is what we're looking for. The formula is consistency plus time equals success. It is not talent plus luck equals virality. No, it's consistency over time. You need to grind away and get it done, okay? So, hey, just make sure that's a great tip. I'm all about it, okay? Let's see. We got some chat some talking back and forth going on in the chat. Let's see. Bulin says, morning, Jesse. Definitely trying to get my website and portfolio established to boost my business. Do you think a private digital consultancy is viable nowadays? I think it can be, but again, you have to have some legs to stand on. You have to have some trust and some authentication, some social proof as to why somebody should come to you for consultation, okay? So you can't just be somebody unheard of. You need to start, I would say, here's how like I've started to consult little by little over the years, is I've started to do good work for clients, get testimonies, social proof, word of mouth. Then people come to me, and if I don't have bandwidth for something, I recommend to them, hey, I don't have bandwidth to take the whole project, but I do have a recommendation and I can give you some consultation. Would you be interested in that? So you have to slowly start pivoting your business into consultation. You can't just show up one day on the scene, nobody knows who you are, and go, you should listen to me and pay me for it. It's going to take a while, right? So consultation comes with experience, in my experience, okay? Emmanuel Duresi says, I have a question. I'd like to make a t-shirt market design and I'm using Artboard Studio, but I don't have inspiration for the t-shirt label design. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I don't have too much good advice for you. I mean, the label itself, yeah, I mean, you definitely check Behance and Dribbble and just write in like t-shirt design and you'll probably get tons of labels. Austin Kleon's famous book, Steal Like an Artist, talks about how no idea is actually original. So don't be afraid to borrow, morph, make it your own. What I like to do is find a bunch of inspiration, try to figure out why I like those inspirations, pull pieces from each of them, and then just start riffing and mixing and matching ideas on artboards till I come up with something that I feel I enjoy and I don't feel bad about where the inspiration or quote unquote stealing came from, because no idea is original, okay? Kazi says, how long does it take for a beginner to be a UX designer? Really depends on your drive. If you want to spend, 30 minutes a day trying to figure it out and watch a YouTube video here or there, could take you years and years and years. You want to spend, you work a regular job 9 to 5, but then 5 to 9, you study UX design, you take a boot camp, you read books, you watch videos, you do challenges. You might progress very, very quickly. Maybe a couple months, 6 months or something. Could be as fast as that. Okay. So Emma Maria says, I like to do so many different things that I never really feel like I have enough to put a good portfolio out there with one of them. That's called being a generalist, Emma. And if you love doing lots of different kinds of work, then you should do lots of different kinds of work and not feel bad about it. But I will tell you this, it's always going to be a little bit harder for you to find clients, because Most clients only have one project in their mind. They're thinking, I really need an iOS app, or I really need a t-shirt design. And they're going to be looking for somebody that has lots of that in their portfolio. So if you have a little bit of t-shirt design, a little bit of app design, a little bit of website, a little bit of packaging, and you're up against somebody else, right, that has a portfolio full of nothing but like t-shirt design, they're probably going to have the edge. You know who's going to have the edge over them? Somebody has a portfolio full of t-shirt design and then also has a personal brand. For instance, who comes to mind? Charlie Pangus. Charlie Pangus on YouTube. He does nothing but merch design. That's his bag. That's his thing. That's his vibe, is merch design. I bet you Charlie Pangus gets tons of people coming to him saying, hey, will you design this shirt for me? Because I see your portfolio full of merch design and I see your YouTube channel dedicated to merch design. You're probably my guy. I also think of Brent Galloway, another amazing merch designer who does stuff like Panic at the Disco. That's what he does. That's his thing, right? Okay, so you're probably gonna have an easier time. Kazi says, do you have a Facebook group or Reddit community? I don't, but check this out. I do have, if you're interested, I do have members here on YouTube. Those members get access to behind the scenes stuff. You can go to the community tab and they get like posts, surveys, different things like that from me, invites, members only video hangouts. Pretty soon I might transition away from the YouTube thing and move to something else I'm kind of building right now that will include probably a Slack or a Discord channel and meetups and all sorts of extra stuff. So if you're interested in that, consider becoming a member for now, and then you'll find out more. Just hit that blue button to become a member. That's a great question though. Nikhil says, I'm starting out designing websites and apps as a side hustle, hoping to dive full-time into this. How to reach out to potential clients. That's a great, hey, I did a whole stream on this about like the freelancing stream. So go back and watch the freelancing stream. There's like an hour and a half of like tips and advice on how to freelance and how to find clients and how to source clients and all that kind of stuff. You know, if you're just starting out, you might have to grind your teeth a little bit. You might have to do a little bit of Fiverr work, some free work, some cheap work, but then you can start, then there's some methodologies inside of that stream about reaching out to people in your local area, doing work for them, or parlaying work you have for people online. Okay, so watch that stream, I would tell you. Neil Ryan, last question, then we're gonna go to hopefully some portfolio reviews if we have any requests in my DMs on Instagram. If you want your portfolio reviewed, you just follow me on Instagram, DM me your link, and we'll try to get to it. All right, last question by Neil Ryan says, I specialize in brand identity and web design. Should I niche down and create sample projects to target clients? I can't seem to finish my site since I have to create personal projects again. That's always tough, okay? So if you want to specialize in brand identity and web design, yeah, you could probably niche down. I would, you know, my friend Sarah Dunn, she has a website called Sarah Does SEO. She does SEO for the wedding industry. She's the queen of niching down. Okay, so she loves what she does, and she does the same thing or similar things so much that she has all these standard operating procedures and processes that she can she can get so much more done so much faster and bill more because of it. Now, what you would do, I would expect, Neil Ryan, is that you would take brand identity, web design. You would want to have some case studies where you've done both. You'd want to say, here's what I do. I do packages, like, so to speak, where I focus and hone your brand identity and I implement those into web design. Here's the 2 to 3 examples of customers and clients and projects I've done this for. Okay, 2 to 3 case studies is probably all you need about how you've built those projects and everything. Okay, let them be narrative, tell a story, do the whole thing. So consider that. Okay, hey, those are great questions. Thank you everybody for submitting your questions. I'm gonna bring up a couple of portfolios here, hopefully. Okay, we're looking. Do we have any? Yeah, we got a couple, but not very many. Okay, so let's try. Okay. Alrighty, we're gonna jump over and get some portfolio reviews. I might have time for 3 or 4 today. That's about it. This is the website of Nikhil Patil. I think Nikhil is in the chat, I believe. Hello, my name is Nikhil Patil, and welcome to my creative outlet. Nice to meet you. Okay, it's a little vague, that statement. You know, I don't hate or love this layout. I don't love it, but I don't despise it. Okay, cute little Pablo Stanley type kind of illustration there. Blog, beatbox, projects. Hello. Okay, let's go to, that's where I would go, is to projects, and sends me to GitHub. Okay, but it says, see, here's the problem. I don't know what you do when I land on your page. I can't scroll anywhere. Okay, now I'm going here to LinkedIn. So everything's just kind of linking out. I'm not opposed to it. But here's what I would say. I think you need, like we kind of talked about earlier, I think you need a clear mission statement here, right? And that if you wrote that mission statement, that personal statement, it would really help you to place that mission statement maybe within here. I would lose these little illustrations. I think they're doing nothing for you. Get them gone. Maybe kick all of these down. Take this image, pop it up here, and put that nice image statement next to it. You know what I'm saying? Okay. That's what I would do if I was you. So I would kick all this down, put that mission statement and an image of you or this little illustration here. That's fine. And then you have these little sections. Probably kill the beatbox section, right? Because that probably doesn't have anything to do with, yeah, that's you beatboxing. It's not bad. But you know, you could do is you can put that in your mission statement. You know, your mission statement could say, "Hi, I'm Nikhil Patil, and I am a UI designer and developer." Working for ... kind of companies. I love to do this thing and solve these types of problems. And in my spare time, I am a beatboxer. Right? Check that out. See how easy it is? You can mention it. You don't have to feature it. Okay. That's, I mean, you have a GitHub repo. I'm not going to take a look at the GitHub repo, and I'm not going to take a look at the LinkedIn profile. So that's all I would say, because I want to see something. But that's my recommendation, is the value personal statement. Start building your personal brand on your website. Okay, let's do this next one. This is Vasilios Manis. Hi, I'm Vasilios. I'm a singer turned UI UX designer. Love it. Little bit of personality already. Who is user focused and versatile. Pride myself on strong foundation of interaction motion design, prototyping, simple human empathy. Kind of a good statement. Little bit buzzwordy for me, but kind of a good statement. Okay. Let's click on one of these. Does it open up? It's within the same website, so we shouldn't have opened it up in a new tab. That was my bad. Okay, mobile payment and wallet app. Clean. Very nice. You know what I love about this is, like, see, a lot of people are either one of two things. They're like, it's so much work to make a website that, like, has all this customization on it. It's like either A, do the work, B, put it out on Behance, or C, copy the Behance method and just stitch together a bunch of images and pop them on the page. Who cares? Like, honestly, at this point, like, are we really saying that, like, your portfolio piece needs to be, like, SEO rich? Maybe not. Maybe it just needs to be a good narrative story that you're telling, right? And so if you're afraid of all the work, the development work that would go into it, just stitch it together in images like this. Get on with your day, but then you can at least make it look nice, okay? But one thing, do make it load nicely, because we're having some loading issues. I'm on a pretty decent internet connection, and we're not loading stuff. So that's the only problem if you get into this. You got to make sure things load. Okay. This is telling a good story. I would love a little bit of timeline's good. I always recommend some value. Again, everything we offer is value driven, right? So I would always recommend people offering value at the top of your case study. Increase leads by this much, blah, 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 like traffic, whatever it is, revenue. If you have it, put it up there. Okay. If you don't, you have to find other ways to show your value, which could be your speed, your efficiency, reactions online, likes, so on and so forth. Just put something up there. Like, I got 1,000 likes on Instagram or social media for this thing. You're like, oh, that's at least some kind of metric. Okay. So we need a value metric always at the top of our case studies. So it's nice work. It's really, really nice. I think you have a good idea of, like, keeping something branded. I'd maybe be careful for these, like, kind of dark edges or, like, these heavy drop downs. Maybe drop this header. It's kind of, like, intrusive, but I think it's telling a good story, and it's all branded and kept together really, really nicely. It's really, really long. So I would also include, like, a too long don't read section up at the top in case somebody like me is like, ugh, I don't want to read this. Let's look at the video. A 5-minute Video. What is it doing for 5 minutes? Oh, turning that down. Okay, it's like a presentation. Okay, this is kind of an interesting idea. It's like a presentation of what you did. So you're like walking people through. Yeah, that's kind of fun. I like it. I've never thought about that, like doing like a YouTube presentation of something, but I think a lot of hiring managers actually might want to see something like that. They might want to see inside of an interview, they're probably going to want you to be able to talk through one of your case studies. And if you've made a video, they can either view it prior or you've already practiced talking through it. So absolutely, that's a good deal. All right, let's do one more and then we are probably out of here for today. Let's transition to Suraj Kumar, who I believe is in the chat. Suraj, say what's up if you're there. Okay, here we go. I am Suraj, UI UX designer and Webflow developer. Very clear statement of what you do. Okay, love it. And it says, I design and build beautiful websites and mobile designs for businesses around the globe. You need a modern and powerful website, send me an email. If we're a good fit, I'll give you time and a cost estimate. Okay, I'm with it. You know what? It's a little wordy. I would say if you need a modern and powerful website, contact me and we'll get started. Like just, you know, you don't need like the extra stuff. Try to keep this to like 2-3 lines at the most. That 4th line is a killer. You don't want it. Okay. It's probably a Webflow app or like a website. So it's like pretty spicy, pretty nice. Like everything works really, really nice. Just use Webflow, people. I just love Webflow. I'm not sponsored by them. I just love them. Really nice layout here. Like the little chiclets, the tags, kind of let me know what it is. App design, case study, concept work. You're mentioning that it's concept work. Love that. Don't be afraid of mentioning it's concept work into it. You know, although I would say if everything is concept work, you might want to define what level of role you're looking for up top, right? If you've never done paid work, never worked for a company, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a CV here somewhere that has, you know, more work or something like the people you've worked for. That'd be great. But if not, say I'm looking for a junior position. I'm looking for my very first design opportunity. That lets hiring managers know, don't waste your time if you're looking for a senior designer, because this is probably not your guy. Even though he's maybe visually talented, he doesn't have the experience. You know, just come on. We got to be honest. You know that if you don't have a certain amount or years of experience, you're not going to get those senior positions, right? So just call it out so people, again, can niche down and find the exact thing they're looking for in you, right? Maybe they're looking for a brand new designer, a junior designer, a standard product design. Maybe they're looking for that, but you know, don't waste their time. Be respectful of people's time and just speak clearly and directly to them. Okay, let's look at one of these projects. Let's go to the music app really quickly. Project showcase, okay. Beautiful, well laid out, very nice. Just one long image. I'm fine with it. You know, it's good. Now, I would say that since I know this is a Webflow site, it's probably easily customizable. You probably could do some sections and be a little bit more interesting, but I get it. You just want to throw this in there. That's fine. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. Okay. Yeah, it's good. It's a nice case study. It's well laid out. You know, I just think maybe a little bit, because I know you can, maybe a little bit more written stuff, maybe a couple of big metrics here. I don't know, something would be nice. Okay. Let's go to the work again. Let's look at one more piece of work, and then we are at a team app website. Okay, team app, instant collaboration for remote teams. Clean, nice. Watch your spacing here. Okay, art direction, nice. Maybe pull this down, get our head out of the navigation bar a little bit. Also, main CTA maybe doesn't stand out as much as it could. We're gonna visit the live site, team app homepage. So it's like a Webflow site that you created. Let's look at the live thing. Nice things leading off the page, overlapping the borders. Nice lockups, typography. You got solid skills in typography. Webflow animations are cool. What's great about this is you've created this Webflow project. You've shown exactly that what you say you claim that you do, you actually do. You make Webflow websites, which is great. Super clean, super easy. You know, if I was looking for a Webflow site, I'd be like, yes, please. Like this person actually does them, and it came out really nice. So this is nice. I like it. Is there other pages to it, or is it just the homepage? There is a blog. Interesting. But there wasn't a product page, and there isn't a contact page, login or get access. Okay, interesting. So you did a couple pages, really cool. yeah, I think it's nice. Yeah, some people were talking about like website building tools. Editor X is a good one too. Like that one. Definitely check it out. Could be interesting. Okay. All right. I thank you so much for joining me in this live stream. You guys have been awesome. Again, consider becoming a member so you stay updated with all announcements and things. Maybe go check my website out and sign up for the newsletter. You can do that really easily by going to jesseshowalter.com and coming right over here and hitting newsletter. That'll help you, let you sign up and get kind of updates when things happen, when things are cracking in my life and in the work that I do. And then you can head over to Design Resources if you want and grab any of my premium resources. I also have some awesome free ones I've collected from around the web, so check those out. Maybe they'll be of interest to you. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Hope you guys are crushing the game, and I'll see you right back here next week, same time, same place, for another live stream. We will see you later. Thanks for watching.